Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to the videos. I appreciate it. Been thinking about different subjects to talk about for the last couple of days. I did a couple of videos yesterday. I haven't released them out yet. I have to finish editing them, but probably get one of them out today. This one here. This one I want to talk about. Well, the thing is, I watch YouTube channels. You know, I watch a lot of YouTube channels to get ideas on videos, and I see a lot of these channels. Um, they talk about a lot of things that they shouldn't be talking about. You know, I watch it. I mean, it's entertaining. You know what I mean? They say a lot of shit that I already know, so it's just entertaining. You know what I mean? To watch these other channels. But like I said, they talk about things they shouldn't be talking about, and for some reason, for some strange reason, they feel that since they are not active in the streets, I guess you could say, they can say whatever they want. And it has to do with the rules that most of us live by most of our lives. Um, it seems like those rules don't apply anymore. It seems it's like it's okay to be a snitch, to be a cop caller, to talk about things that you shouldn't talk about, um, talk about certain people you shouldn't be talking about. You know, I was talking to my dad about it a couple months ago. You know, I was just telling like it's crazy how things have changed, man. You know, there were certain things that you didn't even come out of your mouth, uh, in fear of somebody hearing you saying that. You know, uh, but now it's just open out there. You know, but the thing is that these guys are doing that shit, and all these young dudes see it. You know, they watch it on YouTube and all that, and they see it, so they think it's okay. They're using words they shouldn't be using, words that are from prison and shit like that. You know, like I constantly hear people say, "Oh, this person's got a green light on them." It's like, the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Shit like that. You know, they use prison terms on the streets. Um, Paperwork. You know what I mean? They're, oh, where's, let me see your paperwork. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? You're not in fucking prison. Um, I don't know. It's just crazy how the rules have changed. You know, when I grew up, the people I grew up around were all convicts, the men. And so we knew the rules. We knew not to talk about certain things, and keeping your mouth shut about people it was one of the main rules. You know what I mean? Don't be a fucking snitch. I remember when I was younger, I don't know if I was around 9, 10 years old, something like that. A person he was like an uncle to me, knew him my whole life, um, knew his kids. You know, like I said, my whole life. When I say my whole life, I'm talking about my whole life. I knew him my whole life. You know, he was like my uncle. And he was considered family to us. And I remember when I was around 10 years old, something had happened. I don't know the full story. All I know is that what we were told is that I was told by the older men in the family, like, so and so is no good anymore. He's a fucking rat. If you see him, you don't talk to him. Don't acknowledge him. Stay away from him. Okay, I'm a kid. I mean, I don't know too much, but I know enough to, when they say he's a rat and not to acknowledge him anymore. That was that. Okay, I'm a little kid, but those are the rules, you know. And I saw the guy. I don't know how long it was after I was told about this situation, but I had saw the guy, and he sees me, comes up to me on the street. He's like, "Hey, Mijo, how you doing, Michael? How you?" And I just stared at him, and he's like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" I said, "I can't talk to you." He's like, "Yeah, you can. It's okay." And I said, "No, I can't talk to you no more." And I walked away. And you gotta wonder how that man felt. He was no good to the elder people, to his homeboys and all that, to the older family members. But he was also no good to the kids too. You know what I mean? It was taught to me like, don't talk to that guy. He's no good. He's a fucking rat. He snitched on so and so. He's no good. So we follow those rules. We've always followed those rules of not being a snitch and not being a rat. And no matter what, if you and one of your homeboys together, something happens, you fight that shit together. You know what I mean, even if your homeboy had nothing to do with it, he has to at least give you the opportunity to try to fight your case, because maybe you both get out of the situation. If you don't, from what I grew up on, is if it didn't happen that way, then you go ahead and you take the fucking rap for it. If you did take the rap for it, there's no reason for him to get busted for it. um, and that's what happened to me when I got busted. This fucking guy I was with sniveling over here, that he's gonna get a lot of time. He didn't do anything and all this bullshit. So I said, you know what, fuck it, I'll admit to this shit. So I did. I admitted to having the gun and got him off. He turned around and snitched on me anyway. Um, but those are the rules. You got to follow the rules. Now, I'm no longer a gang member. I don't. I'm not now committing crime. So I'm not active in that sense as far as gangs and shit go. But I still have to follow the rules, no matter what, till the day I die. My father's the same way. My brother's the same way. We follow the fucking rules. We don't have to be active gang members. We don't have to be on the street committing crime, but we mind our own fucking business. We ain't cop callers. If you do something to us, we're gonna do something to you. That's just the way it is. I don't need to call the cops. Luckily that hasn't happened to me, where I have to go out and do stupid shit because somebody does something to me, but you never know. And that's the reason why I say we always have to follow the rules, whether you're an active gang member or you're not. You're retired from it, whatever it is, you have to always follow those fucking rules because you never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I turn into some citizen Joe and something happens on my block. I call the cops and there's a report on it. Well, if anything happens to me later on, I end up in the fucking county jail, you know, and that shit comes up. Well, look what happens to me now. I'm considered fucking no good now because I was a cop caller. You don't call the cops. You know what I mean? You don't snitch on nobody, no matter what. Somebody had asked me if there was any kind of what do you say, exceptions to that rule. Um, for me, no, there's no exceptions to it. I mean, now if your kid is missing, like I told you a story about the little kid missing down, he came to my house and his family didn't call the cops or anything like that. He was missing. He was at my house. You know what I mean? And I had to call his family to come get him. Um, something like that. If your kid's missing, your grandkid's missing, well, that's a different fucking story. You know what I mean? I'm talking about other things. Criminal shit. So if your kid's missing and you call the cops, I mean, there's exceptions to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, the cops have to go help you look for your fucking kid. Your grandkid or whatever, your niece, nephew. That's something different. But it's the criminal shit. If you do something or you see somebody doing something, you know, uh, you just mind your own business. All this Instagram shit and Facebook and TikTok where they pull out their cameras and all that shit, that's all snitch shit. And I see, like I said in other videos, I've seen people do it. I know people that do it. I know people that think they're tough motherfuckers and shit, yet when they see something happening down the street from their house, they're out there with their fucking camera phone filming it, throwing it on Instagram. Well, right then and there, I already know what you're about. You can play that tough shit all day long, but I already know that you're a fucking snitch. You know what I mean? And you can't be trusted. You can't mind your own fucking business. So I don't do that kind of shit. You don't see that on my Instagram and all that, me filming shit like that because that's snitch shit. You got to follow the fucking rules. It doesn't matter if you're active or inactive. If you come from the street, you got to follow the rules. If you're a citizen Joe, then you do whatever you want to do. If you're going to remain a citizen Joe, then you do what you want to do. You know what I mean? But for us that come from the streets, I, I don't believe that you can ever be that. I don't believe that you can ever be just a regular citizen after coming from the streets and doing time. You could never, in my opinion, you can never be that. You're always going to be who you are. You can live a better life. You can not be out there committing crime and try to live a good life, a decent life. Yeah. But you can never fully become a regular citizen again unless like I said, these guys that they're on YouTube, they all talk about things they shouldn't talk about. They're up in everybody's business. They're up in each other's business. And the funny thing about it is most of them are fucking no goods and rats themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like a bunch of rats poking the other rat. Oh, well, you did this or you did this, or you did this when you were in junior high school, or you did this when you were in juvenile hall. They're bringing up shit from the past, from when motherfuckers were kids. They're just pointing fingers at each other. It's a bunch of fucking rats calling each other rats. You know what I mean? Now, them guys can do whatever they want because they're already deemed no good. They're already deemed rats and snitches and shit. You know what I mean? So they're already deemed no good. But but the shit that they're doing, they're encouraging all these other young motherfuckers out there to do the same shit. That what you're doing, you're making good money, and you're getting fame, a little bit of fame off of YouTube by telling your fucking stories that you're telling and shitting on one another. You're putting in the head of these other young motherfuckers that shit's okay, and they think that shit's okay, and so they do that. If you look around now, you see that being a rat, being a cop caller, being fucking busting out your phone is it's all okay to do that kind of shit. But you know what? You better think twice. You better think twice because you know one day you're gonna end up inside, and that shit doesn't fly anymore. Um, it happened to a guy not too long ago. He thought he's gonna run his own program. Well, they put a stop to that shit real quick. You know what I mean? You got another guy about a year ago on YouTube running his mouth, saying shit he shouldn't be saying, talking about things he shouldn't be talking about. Somebody knocked his ass off. Now you got these other guys are doing it, and they act like nobody knows who they are. They think because they move away, they move out of state, that nobody knows who they are. But yet you're putting your face out there. It trips me out because some of these guys, have families. They have families, wives, kids, decent jobs and all that shit. But they're dropouts or they're snitches, whatever, whatever they've done. They talk about how much they care about their family. They're making money for their family and all this and that shit. Well, if you cared so much, you wouldn't be on there doing what you're doing, because you know what? Eventually, eventually, you're gonna get got. It's just a matter of time. Two of them already been knocked off already. It's just a matter of time before somebody decides, you know what? I'm gonna give this guy. I know where he lives at. I know where he works at, and they're gonna get knocked off. All because you want to be YouTube famous, or because you want to make some YouTube money. You want to throw these stories out there that you shouldn't be talking about, and they're gonna get knocked off one by one. You know, there's a couple of them out there. I watch them. Like I said, I watch it. I see it. There's a couple of them. One of them, he's like the ultimate prize out of all of them, and it's funny, you know, when I think about it, because he is. You know, he's the ultimate prize out of all of them. You know, uh, how he's lasted so long, I don't know. How he's lasted so long doing things he's doing, I don't know. But then there's another one. He's a younger one coming up right now on YouTube, and I watch him. He's entertaining. You know, he's got a mouthpiece on him. He's very entertaining. You know, but he's the other one. Like, I watch him. Like, I watch these. I honestly watch their channels, or I watch these channels on YouTube just so I can see when they get knocked off. That's why I'm watching them. You know, one of them wasn't big on YouTube that got knocked off a few months back. The one that was in jail. He wasn't on YouTube doing all kinds of crazy shit. He just thought he was somebody special. The other one was on YouTube talking shit like a year ago and got knocked off. You know what I mean? And uh, and so now it's just a matter of time. You know, you got to. And the fucked up thing about it is that they're being watched by everybody. All the fucking the law enforcement agencies are watching everything these guys are doing, everything these guys are saying. You know what I mean? They're watching them. Some of them are probably getting their houses watching shit. You know, because all the stupid shit they're out there saying on fucking YouTube. You know, because they decided to break the fucking rules. You know, and run their mouths. And so you just now I'm waiting. I'm waiting. You know, I'm watching their channels because I know it's kind of like you know, shit. You can even gamble about it. You know, when they say who's gonna be the next motherfucker that gets knocked off for talking, running his mouth on fucking YouTube about shit he shouldn't be talking about because he's a big mouth. You know, who's the next guy? I already got a fucking idea. I can sit there and play. Oh, I think it's gonna be this guy, or this guy's gonna get knocked off pretty soon. Somebody's gonna fucking say, hey, I know where that guy's at. I know he lives in this state. I know where he works at. You know what I mean? And somebody's gonna get a fucking name for themselves for knocking one of these guys off. But that's what happens when you guys don't want to follow the fucking rules. But they broke the rules a long time ago. You know, they broke them a long time ago when they were inside, couldn't take it no more, and they broke the fucking rules. You know, and one thing about that is that, and I can't stand hearing it. I really hate fucking hearing it. Is there a lot of them say, you know, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Well, you're a fucking liar. You knew what you were getting yourself into. You knew you were getting yourself into. You still did it anyway because you thought you were gonna be slicker than other motherfuckers and that you can make it longer than that. You knew was up. You knew you can bypass everybody else. That you were gonna be the man, and it didn't happen that way. You know, when you were when you were when you were oppressing your own fucking people, it was okay for you to do it. But when the shoe was on the other foot, you didn't like it. So you became what you became. Don't act like you didn't know. You knew because you were doing it to other people. So you knew the consequences of what you were doing and you still did it anyway. Don't fucking say that you didn't know what you were doing and that you didn't know the consequences because you did know. Because you were oppressing your own fucking people yourself. You know what I mean? So don't say you didn't know. You should have fucking ran with it. That's the life you want to live? Live it. Live it to the very end. You know, I know people that things like this that have happened to, you know, and I'll be honest, man. I would like to help them out. You know, family members and really close people that I knew. That are still doing time. I would like to help them out, but there's something inside me that just doesn't let me do it, and it's the rules. I gotta stick with the rules. I cannot help you. You fucked up. You have to deal with it. There's nothing that I can do about it. I cannot help you. I don't want anybody to say, "Oh yeah, he sent some money to so and so." No, nobody can ever say that I did that. That I sent money to people when I've done for them, because I never have, and I would like to. Believe me, I would. But you fucked up. You fucked up, and I can't help you now. You know what I mean? So, um, you want to you want to live that life, then you better follow the fucking rules. And so, but these other guys, they always say, "Well, I didn't know I was getting myself into." You knew. We all knew. We all knew what comes with the lifestyle that we were living. So quit using that as an excuse that you didn't fucking know, because you were doing it to other people. And when the shoe was on the other foot, the shit got hot. You just couldn't take it. So what do? You become what you become, and you use that excuse. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know. No, you knew. It's not an excuse. So, I see a lot of guys using that same fucking excuse all the time. And it's like, this bullshit. You are what you are now. Accept it. You know what I mean? But in my opinion, a lot of these guys should just have, you know, disappeared. And that's the problem. A lot of these, back in the day, if you were a fucking snitch, you disappeared. You never came around no more. You left the state. You went somewhere further where nobody knew who the fuck you were. Now you can come back to wherever you grew up at, run around the streets and shit like that. You're known as a fucking rat, but nobody's gonna do nothing to you. Um, it's crazy how the rules have changed, but it's a lot has to do with the people that are on YouTube doing what they're doing, saying the things that they're saying, that are teaching these younger motherfuckers that it's okay to be what they are. I just feel that you got to follow the rules no matter what, whether you're active, inactive, it doesn't matter. You want, if you're a citizen Joe, you do whatever fuck you want to do, but um, coming from the street, you can never be that until you finally say fuck it, and you you have nothing to do with it no more. Whatever, you can never talk about it. You stay away from those kind of people altogether. You move on with your life and shit like that. You know, but if you're still uh, um, in contact with people from the streets and shit like that, you still go around them. Even though you're not an active person, you still go around them. You break bread with them. You have drinks with them. Then you gotta follow those fucking rules always, because that shit's gonna follow you. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen. Believe me, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to the county. I don't want to go to prison. I don't want to do any of that shit. But you know what? I know that if something was to happen to me, somebody did something to me, and I had to do something, and I end up having to go do some fucking time. I know they ain't gonna find nothing on me that's saying that I was some kind of fucking snitch or nothing like that, or I was hanging around with no good motherfuckers. No, they wouldn't find that, because I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't know anybody that I personally that's a fucking rat. I don't know anybody like that. That's around me. If I ever found out there was anybody around me like that, then they couldn't come around me no more. I wouldn't want them here in my home. Like I said, it's not like I'm out committing crime or anything. I just don't want you around me. You're not the kind of person that I feel I have anything in common with. If you're a rat, um, so I don't know. This just, like I said, it was just I watch these channels and I see what's going on, and it's just funny how so much has changed, and how these rules that we had, not too many people are following them anymore, and it's not a good thing. To me, it's not. But Anyways, that's my video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be talking to you.